Just like we keep our homes clean, we keep ourselves hygienic, we practice good etiquette in general, we also should practice good online etiquette and be classy and elegant online. And most people do not get this right. With the kind of use that we get out of social media these days, it's so important that we understand that our personality, our character, the way we define ourselves is not just limited to who we are as a person, but also how we project ourselves online. If you want to project yourself in a more ladylike, more classy, more elegant way, please keep on watching. Number one is to define your online presence. Now, this could mean the kind of fonts that you use, the kind of pictures that you upload, your style, your values, your unique personality traits that you bring to the digital world. Everything that you post online gives off an impression to your audience. Now, whether that audience be your friends, be random people from across the world, or be your teachers or your students or whatever profession you are, your colleagues. So in every aspect, whatever you put online will say something about you. It will also have an impact on how people treat you. I had a psychology teacher back in school who was really into traveling as well, and her Instagram feed was so well curated. It was almost like a blog page, and I really enjoyed following her, and even her subject just automatically became more interesting to me because of how she used to project herself. What I mean to say is how people perceive you will depend a lot on what you put out there. When it comes to Instagram, I personally love color coordinating my feed just because I want it to look nice and very well maintained. Just like any other thing, if you want your social media profiles to look elevated, elegant and classy, you want to put in the work into it. Be high maintenance with this. Just as you maintain yourself, other things around you, your house, your wardrobe, also maintain your Instagram feed if you want to uplift it. When you use a consistent color scheme, editing techniques, fonts, it helps create the sort of visual harmony and balance. It also shows that you've put in the thought and effort into the presentation of your content, which makes it look even more classy and sophisticated. It's the same concept as we talk about in this channel. Anything that's handmade versus machine made, right? Anything that's handmade will take more time, more effort, it'll be more expensive because there's so much work that's gone into it. It's considered art. Whereas something that's machine made, everything's just done quickly, there's no attention to detail. Same thing applies to the digital sphere as well. If you're putting in effort, it will show. The 7 to 9 rule. Have you ever had that friend who texts you at really odd hours? If you don't have such colleagues, please make sure you're also not that colleague. It's generally not considered good social etiquette to text somebody during their personal time. So this could be from 7 p.m. all the way till 9 a.m., especially in the work environment where most offices start kind of at 10, 9:30, 10. In fact, in a lot of countries, this has become more like a rule. Any work texts or emails outside of work hours, unless there's an emergency, it's not considered okay. Overusing emojis in regular conversation. I cannot tell you how many times I've received a message with rainbows and hearts and flowers and bouquets, and it's just overwhelming. There's a whole painting going on in that message. Unless you know the person very well, keep emojis on the lower side. And even if you do know the person very well, don't add emoji after emoji after emoji. It just doesn't look nice, girls. Maybe add a heart, maybe add a flower, maybe add a smiley, but that's about it. Don't make it 5 emojis and then 5 more and then 5 more. We're not doing that. The next one is something I absolutely hate. Texting someone you haven't spoken to in a while without a greeting. I hate those kinds of people who will text saying, hey, can you get this done for me, without even greeting. Like the last time we spoke was probably 2 years ago, and now suddenly you work from me and there's not even a how are you. It just sounds very selfish. So if this is something that you do, even if you're in a hurry, even if you're sending a voice note, make sure you establish some sort of initial conversation with that person and then ask for your favor or your work or whatever it is. When I was in London, I remember I was coming back and this one person wanted something from the duty free and they messaged me. I didn't even have their number saved. They got my number from another friend. Good if that friend did tell me that they've given my number to somebody else. And this person messages me saying, hey, can you get this for me? Please send me your Google Pay and I'll pay it. I was just so taken aback at that. Like, is this how people talk nowadays? Like, I just didn't get it. So next time you want something out of somebody, whether it is help, whether it is a professional requirement, or whether it's just somebody to talk to, always ask them how they're doing, how their family is. Establish a relationship. I learned this one phrase about building relationships in finishing school. Be a farmer, never a hunter. Build your relationships, nurture your relationships over time. Don't go hunting a person to get something out of them. That looks very, very selfish. By the way, I have an entire chapter in my book, The Glow Up Guide, which is all about transforming yourself holistically. So it's socially, emotionally, mentally. How do you transform yourself in all aspects? How do you look more elegant? How do you act more elegant? How do you carry yourself with class and sophistication in every single move. It's all in the book. It's a very light read. It's for $2.99. I will leave a link in the description box. It's even got a chapter called A Lady in the Digital World, which is all about cyberspace etiquette. Definitely something that's going to serve as your ultimate guide, so make sure you have a look at the description box and get it for yourself. Now, when we have group chats, sometimes people just add random people to the group chat. They want to make a big group, especially if you're in school or college. You'll have class groups, or you'll have like team groups in office. And sometimes when we're making plans outside of school, college, or office, we forget who all are in the group and we just send a text. And somebody who's not invited to that party or that get together or whatever might feel alienated. Even the day after the party or the get together, even if the majority of people were there, but there were still some people who were not invited or who did not make it, be mindful of how they would feel and don't mention the party or the group in front of them. You wouldn't want somebody to do that to you and make you feel left out, so it's best not to do that to somebody as well. Also keep in mind that some conversations can be done in private. You don't need to message a whole group for that. If you and your friend want to have a conversation, you're talking one-on-one in the group, better to take that conversation to your private chat and not disturb others. What if other people are working? What if they're out? What if somebody just lost a loved one? It's best not to disturb other people, not to constantly buzz their phone, because if that's what you do, what option does the other person have? They're going to have to mute the group, and elegant ladies do not want to be muted by anybody. Speak only as much as required, especially in a group, and don't overshare. Speaking of another texting and in general social media etiquette is no abuses, please. Not even with friends. It just does not look elegant. It's not classy. We might think in school and college that abusing is the next big thing. It's the next cool thing to do. And if we do it, we're so cool and we're so popular. But in reality, it's looked down upon. Would you ever see the royalty abuse? Would you ever see anybody who's considered typically classy or elegant abusing? You wouldn't, right? And that's for a reason. You don't want to show others that this is how you deal with issues. There's always a classy way to deal with issues. You can cut yourself off from the situation for a bit. You can deal with it in healthier ways. I personally feel abusing comes from a place of insecurity, wherein if you're insecure about yourself, you want to show to the other person by raising your voice or by abusing that you have something that they don't. And that comes from a place of lack within yourself. I know this went into a whole different dimension, but just in simple words, do not abuse, do not curse. I know most people online are cursing these days. Instagram comments are filled with that. But if you want to come off as a classy and elegant person, cursing should definitely be avoided at all costs. Blocking is there for a reason. If you have a problem with somebody, block. I've blocked so many people, but I have never cursed online. Elegant ladies will never post intimate photos online. Again, have you ever seen any elegant lady post any intimate photo online? When you are curating your Instagram feed, or when you're choosing a profile picture or something, anything that's got to do with imagery, make sure it's not vulgar, it's not explicit, it's not sexual. It doesn't even give that sort of a vibe to anybody. It has to be polished, sophisticated, classy, elegant, all the good words you can think of. Make sure it's that. There's also a chapter in the book talking all about the kind of pictures to post, what not to post, what you can stay away from. I'm sure you'll benefit from this. Link is down below. Now let me clear something here. I am totally for body positivity, for skin positivity. You can show as much as you want as long as you are comfortable in it. My only point is, if you're on a beach wearing a bikini, for sure post it. But if you're in your own room wearing a bikini and posting that picture, let's say it's a mirror selfie, I don't see the point of doing that unless you're maybe posting it from the point of view of, say, fitness or working out or something. On the other hand, if you're out on a beach, you've got water behind you, there are yachts or like boats or something, other people are enjoying wearing that as well. If that's the setting, of course go ahead and post that, because it's a very natural setting. But to artificially sort of create that setting in your own house and then post a picture, that doesn't seem the most free-flowing or natural move, and I would say it's best to stay away from that. Do not text sensitive news. Sensitive news is best given in person, but if that's not possible because of some reason, give a call. Do not text sensitive news. You don't know how the other person might take it. Plus, when you text, a lot of the emotion sort of goes away, because texts are very bland. No matter how much you try to explain yourself, how many emojis you add, it will still not have the same essence. Calls are still better, but if you can meet the person, definitely do that. Also, avoid spreading sensitive news without the permission of the person involved. Now, keep in mind that some people do not want to attend calls. They would much rather respond to messages because it's a very emotional time for them as well. So this is very situational, but in general, for other kinds of sensitive news, it's best to call, meet the person. Same thing with breakups as well. Choosing to end a friendship or a relationship is best done over a call or after meeting the person. If you do it on text, it will strip away the emotion and it will not come off the same way, and it might even be disrespectful. Avoid engaging in arguments online. Look, the internet is a huge place. It's a wild place. People are sitting behind a screen and people say anything and everything. Trust me, I deal with this every second day, and I'm telling you, it's best not to engage in fights or arguments online. Sometimes it can get really overbearing, in which case I would still say block the person. The thing about these arguments is that it can go on and on and on. A lot of people have a lot of free time in general. You are not one of them. Constructive criticism is one thing, but as long as you're not going around commenting on everybody's thing, everybody's picture, putting your nose into their business, I think you're good to go. Just block, delete, get over with it, get on with your life. Don't encourage all of this. It's a fact that people who are commenting such stuff on other people's pictures and videos, they are dealing with some kind of insecurity themselves, which is why they feel the need to take out time from their day and leave a nasty comment. Delete, block, do not justify yourself, move on with your life, continue as you are. You do not need to pay attention to this. And finally, practice digital hygiene. This is the most important thing. This is something that's so important that will instantly elevate your digital presence. By digital hygiene, I mean just as we clean ourselves every day, we wash ourselves with soap, we make sure our nails are done, our hair is done. We're maintaining quality. Similarly, even in the digital space, you want to maintain quality. Now, quality means uploading, for example, HD images. Nothing that is substandard, nothing that is pixelated, nothing that is in low light. Just make sure all your images are clean, well lit and HD. You don't need to spend for this. You don't need to get professional cameras or whatever. Just your normal phone camera is good enough. Learn a few photography tips and tricks. I do have a video on how you can elevate your Instagram feed. I will leave a link right over here. Some poses as well for Instagram. I'll leave a link to that here and down below as well. These are a couple of videos related to this topic that you can watch and benefit from. Of course, a lot more is in the book. I am plugging this book so much this time, but you should definitely check it out. We've sold quite a few copies. Good hygiene also means proofreading to avoid grammar and spelling mistakes. Grammar mistakes, spelling mistakes can make you look very unprofessional, even if it's just a simple text. Try to use full forms, don't use short forms. It takes a while to read those texts. There are a few people whom I know will always send me texts in like short forms, and every time they text, I'm just like, oh god, not again. People are busy throughout their day. They don't want to sit and decipher what you've written in your short form. So make sure you're texting properly, proper spelling, proper grammar. It's just a way to present yourself in the most elegant manner. It's just as you would write a letter. Just because things are digital now does not mean you would write a U instead of a Y-O-U. How much time are you saving by eliminating 2 letters? If you find this difficult, there are so many websites like Grammarly, ChatGPT. They can all help you rephrase, add correct grammar. Anything that's classy, anything that's elegant has effort put into it. So if you're not putting an effort into your messages or your text or whatever communication it may be, even emailing, if you're not putting an effort, thought and time into it, it will not look classy, it will not look elegant. And that is the crux of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and you took away something from it. I would love to do a video on how you can use ChatGPT to look more put together. Let me know if that interests you. It's something that I've been using a lot. If you found this video useful, make sure you give it a big thumbs up and leave your comments down below letting me know what other tips and tricks do you have to elevate your social media profile. If you've done something in the past that has really helped you. For more such videos, make sure you subscribe and I'll be seeing you guys very, very soon. Till then, bye-bye.